Hi, my name is Amanda Denman, and my 1 hour technology workshop was a training on the learning management system called It's Learning that Forsyth County is using. The workshop was designed to provide teachers with a little information about how often students access It's Learning, the Forsyth County standards when using It's Learning, and we had a small breakout session to focus on the areas of strengths and weaknesses that teachers feel that they have when using It's Learning. The workshop is also spending some time looking at the TEAC standards and how It's Learning is aligned with the TEAC standards as well. The training will also allow teachers to create and find assignments that they might want to use and implement in the classroom. The agenda for the day started with everyone coming together in a large group session. We reviewed It's Learning as a whole, going over the dashboard and where the courses are located. Next, we dove into the 2015 and 2016 Online Learning Day experiences, which in Forsyth County we no longer have snow days budgeted into our schedule. So if there is a snow day, students have to log on to the It's Learning platform and complete assignments. So during that part of the day, we looked at data and information that was given to us from parents, teachers, and students about how those online learning days, those snow days, went. After that, the teachers that were present at the workshop completed a scavenger hunt as if they were logging into It's Learning through the eyes of a student. How easy it was to access assignments and their courses and the dashboard, as well as some misconceptions and some problem areas that students run into that the teachers are not able to see on their end. Next, as a whole group, we went over the 2016-2017 expectations of It's Learning and the multiple trainings that are going to be offered at each of the schools throughout the school year. After the break, we broke out into a small group session. The teachers had to complete an It's Learning self-assessment, which they had to go in and rank themselves on 3 standards that they felt that they were really strong in, and then identify one of the standards that they felt that they were weak in. These standards are Forsyth County It's Learning standards, and so this is something that is specific to Forsyth County. After that, we took the information that the teachers gave us and allowed the teachers to break out into smaller groups and discussed why they believe that they were strong in that It's Learning standard. They had to come up with artifacts and examples of how their It's Learning dashboard supported that standard. The ISTE standards were also presented to the teachers during the workshop. It was surprising to see how many of the teachers did not know about these standards. So I showed them the teacher standards and the student standards and how It's Learning supports these standards. Next are the objectives, so the learning targets, what we were going to be covering that day, and by the end of the day, teachers should be able to do all of these things listed, and the teachers will have experienced everything that is listed here under objectives. The presentations page is the introduction video that I showed that shows how It's Learning is being used at the high school level, how the teachers are using it, how the parents are using it, and how the students are using it. I've also included the PowerPoint presentation that I delivered at the workshop as well on this page. The resources tab is where you can find the multiple handouts and papers that were given out through the workshop. This is how It's Learning is aligned to the TEAC standards. Next, you will find the handout that shows the teachers exactly what to do during their scavenger hunt. And then the next handout is the actual It's Learning self-assessment that is aligned to the Forsyth County It's Learning standards. the next part is where I included the breakout session instructions. So that talks about how the teachers need to identify their strengths and weaknesses and split into small groups and exactly how those small groups went. Down at the bottom, I have examples of the artifacts that many of the teachers decided to show as their area of strength. So the first standard on the rubric was communication. And so one of the teachers uploaded the artifact of their planner to show how they communicate with their parents and students and what's going on between the classroom and then the homework. Standard 2 was about collaboration. And so one of the teachers decided to upload the artifact that is an actual assignment. And they used a discussion in the class for the students to respond to a topic. So throughout the page, each standard has an artifact that the teachers felt represented that standard very well. Under the Evaluations tab is the Google form that I created that allowed teachers to provide me with their honest feedback about today's training. It does align with Guskey's 5 levels of evaluation. I did include the evaluation results below in chart and table form. Out of the 30 plus participants that were at the workshop, only about 16 of them actually submitted an evaluation form. So I can either assume that some of them just did not want to answer the feedback form, or some of them worked together. But the results were actually very positive. 68.8% of the participants felt that they did learn something new at the workshop, which is very exciting because It's Learning has been around for a few years. And so the fact that teachers are still learning new things is very exciting. Some new things that they learned were how It's Learning is actually aligned to the TEKS standards, because I know TEKS is something that we are all having to do. And they were actually surprised at the amount of online participation that the students were involved in during the online snow days. During the training, 62.5% of the participants felt that the trainers, so myself, supported them during the workshop, especially in the small breakout sessions, trying to come up with those artifacts that supported the It's Learning standards. And a combined total of 75.1% of the participants felt that they can apply at least something that they learned in the classroom, or that day, into their classroom. The best result was the 93.8% of the participants felt that their students will use the It's Learning platform to access school-related materials. So whether the teachers are going to use It's Learning or not, they still feel like their students are going to have to use this platform to access school instructional materials. The surprising part was that only 37.6% said that parents are likely to access It's Learning. I added this into the evaluation part because at my school we have a high poverty level, and so a lot of times we feel like we put in so much work into the It's Learning dashboard to have zero parent participation. But since some of the teachers that were participating in the workshop were from schools that were not necessarily from living in high poverty or had students living in high poverty, it was interesting to see that they felt that parents did access the It's Learning platform very frequently. So that information was extremely eye-opening. Something that I feel like I can do to help in the future is to really work with those teachers who feel like the parents and students are not going to access the It's Learning platform often. The It's Learning platform and learning management system is something that's probably not going to go away for a while. So I need to work on helping these teachers embrace the It's Learning platform and creating assignments that will, reach higher order thinking skills and not just be an area that houses resources, but more of allowing students to create inside of the platform.